May, I'm Jaime. I can tell you what, unlike Canada, I came to Mexico completely prepared. I had my sunscreen, I had my pesos, I had my swim trunks, my sunglasses. The only thing that wasn't quite prepared was my intestinal tract, which I'm super pumped is finally back to normal as of today.
Well, you know what? What I got out of that statement is that you actually wore trunks in Mexico, and I have to say I'm very disappointed. I am very disappointed, young man. It's as you get older, you start taking less of a risk. Well, we're gonna jump right into it. Welcome everybody to SMA Live. This is show number 10. We made 10 shows. Can you dig that? I love it. You know, somebody is standing around listening to us go on for 10 shows. And we're gonna jump right into it with our first guest. You may know him as Captain Jack Iceman. We know him as the most recent winner of Amerikick for the Openweight Challenge. Guy's got more awards and he does more things than any of us would ever even reasonably hope to do. I'm going to just get him on the line right now. Our first guest is the one, the only Jack Felton. Calling him up right now. See what he's doing on the West Coast tonight. Jack Felton.
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
What's up, Jack Felton? Welcome to SMA Live. You're on with Mallory Woods and Jamie Cravens. How is it, Mr. West Coast?
It's going good. Weather's nice, and I can't complain, man. It's nice and hot.
You know, one of the things, I'm going to jump right in here. Where exactly is your school at? And I know we're going to keep this nice and tight for you because you got a bunch of little dragons waiting on you. Where is your school in California?
That's where I'm teaching right now. We're located in Tustin, California, streets of Walnut and Franklin.
All right, and what we're going to touch on, well, first of all, congratulations on winning Amerikick this past weekend. You took on some great fighters. I did like the European flavor. I really liked the fact that the Likers and Mark Russo brought in a couple of European fighters to change things up. Of course, these are guys that you're familiar with, but tell us about that experience. You had to face one really tough fighter, Roman, that you almost looked like you had an easy time with. Tell us about what was your strategy going into that.
Yeah, I thought Amerikick was an awesome event. I thought it was excellent as well that Mr. Liker brought over some of the Europeans. I get to go out to Europe and fight those guys a lot, so it was cool to see a lot of them come out to an American event and get some action out here. One of the main fights of the weekend was me versus Roman in the semifinals of the super fights. It went good. I just have experience, fighting taller fighters that kick a lot of times growing up. Fighting Nate Windsor, that helped a lot. Also, my teammate Robbie, I kind of mimic him. He's like always a little angry, drunken gremlin running around. Just trying to stay away and act like Roman had my beer, and I was just trying to get it from him.
Right on, Jack. So, outside of the karate world, obviously you live out in California, it's warm and sunny. You can do just about anything you want. We see surfing, we see snowboarding, hiking, doing all sorts of stuff. What else you got on your bucket list that you want to do while you're out there in sunny California?
In California,
or anywhere else.
Yeah, I enjoy myself. I like to hike and just see different places on the planet. California is nice because we got like the beach and we got the mountains, and I get to kind of do what I like to do. I don't know, I just kind of like to explore different places. I'd like to go to like New Zealand, maybe different parts of South America. I don't know, just kind of cruise around and wherever I go, just kind of take advantage of whatever's cool around there.
We're going to see you doing any skydiving anytime soon?
Yeah, I skydived a couple times.
Of course you did.
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know. I don't have anything lined up or plan to do it again, but I enjoy skydiving.
Right on. Back to the martial arts side of things. Obviously you've dabbled a little bit outside of sport karate with the WCL. Do you see yourself doing anything outside of sport karate in the near future?
Yeah, I really love all aspects of martial arts. As you know, my good friend Raymond, he's doing kickboxing, so I'm trying to get back into kickboxing as well if I can get any opportunities to get in there, I would definitely take advantage of that. And then I still do grappling, things like that too. So if I can get some grappling tournaments in. Right now, my main focus is the points, but when the opportunity arises, I'll be ready for all the other doors that open up for me.
Well, of course, you can follow Jack Felton on Instagram at Jack Felton. Very easy to find. You could see some of his most.
That's right. Yeah, I just kind of put some of my funner pictures on there. Some of my activities I enjoy doing, more like hobbies.
There's some pretty incredible pictures on there. I think it was on Instagram where we actually saw a picture of you with a lion. No bars. You're in there with a lion. That was pretty awesome. I'm going to get you one more question. Jack, what would you say to Americans that want to compete in Europe? What is one good thing to know before you go and step foot off of North America? What advice would you give to someone who's competing in Europe the first time to help them maybe get used to a couple of different rules or the way things are?
The style and the rules are different. The main, of course, the big one is the body jab. That's like their bread and butter up there. I'd say that their main, all the fighting kind of revolves around that. And so I'd definitely say work the body jab. They do it offensively, defensively, and it's like, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's the closest weapon to them, so you use that a lot. So definitely use that body jab because they're going to use it against you too.
Well, Jack, I know you're very busy. You got a couple of Little Dragons future champions to train. One last question. Where will we see you next?
Next event will be the Austrian Classic back in Europe. Using that body jab again, Peter Krugenhauser, the top 10 sponsor, his tournament, and I'll be up there in a couple weeks.
Well, there you have it. A man of many talents. He jumps out of airplanes. He pets tigers and lions. He surfs. He snowboards. I still promise, Jack, one day we will snowboard together. We got to set that up. I promise you that is going to happen. Jack Felton, thank you for joining us today on SMA Live. Go train those future champions, and we'll see you at an event soon.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for having me. Talk to you later.
All right, Jack. Later.
Bye, guys.
The one and only Jack Felton. There it is. God does everything, man.
Boy, he's got a lot going on. He gets to travel the world, and then at the same time, he gets to come home to California afterwards.
Hard life. Hard knock life. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break before we bring our next guest, Derek Meegan. He's won almost everything so far. 2016, won 2 Warrior Cups, won almost grand prize at almost every event so far in 2016. We're going to have him on the show right after this wonderful ad for this weekend's event, Ocean State Grand Nationals, coming up this weekend, April 8th, 9th, and 10th in Warwick, Rhode Island. Sit back and enjoy the commercials. We'll see you in 37 seconds. As I mentioned before, our next guest has won 2 Warrior Cups right in a row this year alone. He is, pretty much taking everything out there in the forms and weapons category. And right now he's on a college tour, so let's see if we can catch up with Derek Meegan. Stand by while I dial out. Jamie, why don't you give us a little update of tournament updates, if you have any, while I go ahead and dial Mr. Meegan.
Right. Well, the important thing to remember is we just showed the commercial for the Ocean State Grand Nationals. The online registration for that closes tomorrow at midnight. That's April 6th at midnight. So get that in because that's coming up that weekend. This very next weekend, I know we've got the SMA crew out there as well. And then the weekend after that, we're going to be doing the SMA TV stream from Jeff Doss's Grand Slam Open Nationals, April 15th and 16th. They've also got they're going to have the North versus South junior fights on stage. I expect a pretty loud raucous audience for that one.
That's definitely a unique team event that we have right up there. All right, let's see if we can catch up, Mr. Meegan. 1 second. Gonna go ahead and punch him up real quick.
Hello.
Mr. Derek Meegan, welcome to SMALive. How are you tonight?
Good. How you doing, Mallory?
Doing pretty good. You're on with myself and Jamie Cravens, my Thunder buddy, in the window that you can't see. How's it going tonight, sir?
It's going good. It's a little chilly in New York City right now, but it's all right. Heading back to California tomorrow, actually.
Now, I actually didn't know that you were a California guy, and what we love to do for the West Coasters to come out here, we love to make it nice and cold for you. So when you do come out here, and I understand you're on a college tour, we want to make sure you know what you're going to get if you're going to go to school on the East Coast.
Yeah, it seemed it was pretty cold today, especially with the wind. But it was all right. Columbia, I saw today, is a beautiful college.
So are you did you just look at one school, or you got a couple in mind? Or, I mean, I know the great thing is you're thinking about college right now, and if I remember right, you still got a couple more years of high school to go. What else have you?
Yeah, I'm a sophomore right now.
What other schools have you considered?
Well, on the East Coast specifically, I looked at UPenn yesterday, which is not that far from where I was staying in Philly. And then we took the train up to New York City today, and I saw Columbia, which is those are amazing schools. And then back in December, I saw Princeton a little bit. And then I'm looking at a lot of schools in California as well, like UCLA or Stanford or Berkeley. So a lot of schools out there, and it's pretty exciting.
Now, one of the things, since you're looking at college, do you have an idea what you want to do or major in?
Yeah, I want to go into pre-med and then eventually become a doctor. So it's going to be a long road for education-wise, but it'll be a pretty cool opportunity to study and learn.
Well, another former superstar wanted to go into the medical field or something like that. So, but you won five out of 6 overall championships in the last 3 tournaments. Is that one you missed just eating you up right now?
Not necessarily. I mean, 5 out of 6 is way more than I expected. Obviously, I'd love to have 6 out of 6, but I'm pretty happy with where I'm at and where I'm continuing to go. So yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's truly impressive. 5 out of 6 is almost unheard of. So congratulations on that. We also see you doing fighting divisions out there as well. Are you more leaning towards the forms divisions, or are you kind of equal for the fighting and the forms?
Not necessarily. I mean, I want to be an all-around martial artist. I don't just want to be known as the forms guy or the fighting guy. Not to knock either of those, but I like fighting personally. I think it's very fun, and I've actually dropped previous divisions such as like creative forms, which I used to do back in like 2013, 2014, and then creative weapons, which I did all the way up until Quebec Open last year, actually. But I dropped those just to spend more time on fighting. But currently where I'm at, I think I have enough time to focus on my traditional forms, my traditional weapons, and my fighting, where it's all, I can balance it, and I can be at a level where I'm happy with all of it.
That's fantastic. We love to see the all around. Get both of them in. It makes you look good, makes you look sharp. But we also learned that you just got your driver's license recently. You've been driving around town quite a bit lately.
Well, actually, it was just my permit. So,
just the permit. Okay.
Yeah. So I took my permit test actually pretty late. I'm only 15. You can take it when you're 15 and a half, which is like October for me, but I just got my permit, so I'm learning how to drive now. So it's getting kind of scary for my parents, but I'll be pretty good, I hope.
Well, the great thing about California is there are lots of open roads to drive, and there's absolutely no traffic. So that's good. Speaking of what part?
Yeah, exactly.
What part of California are you from? Derek, what part of California are you from?
I'm part of. I'm from Southern California, so just north of LA, in Valencia, California. So it's right near Magic Mountain. If anybody knows what that is.
Oh yes, yes. That one of the things that I used to like to do when going out to competes is have a daughter that is she'll be 21 this month. So to give you an idea how long ago it was, but we used to go out and spend a week in California. I do competes, and then we do an amusement park every day. And I thought that the tournament was the hardest thing. The hardest thing was going to a park every day, and Magic Mountain was one of her favorites to go to. So definitely familiar with the area up there. Well, Derek, we're going to go ahead and let you go on out and continue to look for good colleges. I am impressed. We were speaking just to Jackson Rudolph a few weeks ago. He also wants to go in the medical field. It's very good to see so many responsible young martial artists that want to go ahead. I think you can draw inspiration from Ross Levine, who very well soon will be Dr. Ross Levine. And, one day we'll have Dr. Meegan and Dr. Rudolph as well.
Yes, hopefully, very much hopefully.
And as I look at you, great video of you with your bow. Unfortunately, none of that is allowed in the OR. So you're going to have to give up twirling sharp instruments.
The exact opposite, which is allowed.
Well, Derek.
And don't forget, Kalman Shoka, I'm pretty sure, went to medical school, if I'm correct on that.
I think you are correct.
That's also another martial arts person who transitioned.
Man, you guys are setting the bar high. I'm glad I went on and went to school and did something dumb like computer science, so that compared to the medical field, you guys are on fire. Well, thanks for being a part of SMALive tonight. We wish you a safe trip home. And what event will we see you at next?
Thank you for having me on. My next event is Quebec Open, which is at the end of this month.
Good promo for another event on the SMA calendar, Derek. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you out there, and I'm quite sure on the stage.
Thank you so much. I'll see you later.
All righty. Bye-bye. We're going to have a fleet of karate doctors soon. This is going to be, I can see it right now. Guys are going to be out there. They're going to be performing, and one guy goes down, pop. You're going to have 4 or 5 guys jump up that are doctors to be able to assist right away. It's going to be absolutely...
Don't need to hire medics anymore.
Nah, you know what? Guys can save... Tournament promoters saving money. Who would have ever thought? Come on. Well, speaking of that, we're going to run a commercial right before our last 2 guests. They are the co-promoters of the Gator National, Alex and Charlie Lane. But before we get to those guys, we're going to get a quick word in for one of our great sponsors. You see the man behind Jamie, George St. Pierre, who is proudly representing Hayabusa, and Jamie is actually wearing Hayabusa. Did you rep that in Mexico?
Absolutely. It actually gets kind of chilly at night, so I get to wear this quite a bit.
Oh, there you go. 37-second ad for Hayabusa Martial Arts. We'll be right back with the lanes. We're back. One of our events that's coming up on the SMA calendar is the Gator Nationals, held in beautiful Tampa, Florida. Jamie and I went last year, thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. Nice warm weather, great location right down by the water. We're going to call the two promoters, Charlie and Alex Lane.
Hello?
May I speak to Alex Lane, please?
Hello?
Hello, I'm sorry, do we have Charlie Lane on the phone?
Hey, Mallory, what's going on?
Oh, that's Alex. Alex, how you doing? Welcome to SMALive with myself and Jamie. How are you doing?
Doing great, sir. How are you doing up there?
Doing pretty good. Alex Lane, as you know, member of John Paul Mitchell team, turned co-promoter for the Gator National and professional thorn in my side when we were out competing. I never got past you, Alex. We always used to run up against each other in the finals, semifinals, and that 15-foot reach you have with your long leg was hard to get past.
Yes, sir, definitely. We always had some battles, but you know what? You definitely put up a great fight each and every time, and I couldn't ask for a better person to obviously compete against with.
We definitely had some great battles, and I think I may be partially responsible for you getting on JPM because we put on such a good show.
Yes, sir. Well, it wasn't just you; it was a group of individuals that competed, and I couldn't be any more grateful at that time era to obviously overcome and represent the black and white very well.
Absolutely, and since then you're helping out your father with the upcoming Gator Nationals. Both myself and Jamie were at last year. It was a great time. We loved the location. Quick run, professional run tournament. Why don't you guys give us a little bit of an idea of what you have new for this year in 2016?
Well, what we've got new this year, we've been trying to figure out a new ways for fighters to get more excited about competing when they come out. We've obviously, you've got the open weight division that just happened. Amerikick was past weekend, which was great. The fighters, apparently said they had a great time. There's the 3-person team fighting challenge as well as a 5-person team fighting challenge. And what we did is we talked to a couple of close friends and family members to try to figure out a new solution. And one of the key things that we've been always trying to figure out is, all right, you got the big 3 teams, you got the who's the best of the best. We want to see what we can do with the dynamic duo. So what we're going to introduce is a division called the Texas Two-Step Team Sparring. And the Texas Two-Step Team Sparring is 2 fighters on per team will have to actually battle both members of opposing teams. So that's 4 rounds total, and each round's going to be 90 seconds. And then how the match play is going to work is it's going to be similar to football, where they do a coin toss in the beginning, and the fighter who decides, whoever wins the coin toss, if they decide they want to send out first, they can send out first, but they can also elect to send out third. Now that kind of changes things around a little bit because in between the second and the third round, one fighter has to stay in the round. So one fighter will have to fight the second and third round regardless. And then on the last round, we're actually going to mix it up even more to make it more interesting. And the last 30 seconds, we're going to go to stop and go time. The rules will be posted by the end of the week. It's going to be, the other cool thing about it is that we're not just doing it for the men, we're doing it also for the women. And each division, for both men and women, it's a $500 cash prize. So, whoever is the best of the dynamic duo, back in the day, I remember the Bradys were the 2, people to talk about. If you were to match up Jack Felton and Raymond Daniels, what would happen at that? Even Trevor Nash and Jason Borelli, that would be another cool two-person team. So we're going to try to do something a little bit different, and hopefully, this will create a cool spark for competition for fighting.
I like that than anything that's out there right now. And as you mentioned, you definitely have to come in with a bit of strategy. You just can't send out, I'm going to send in my closer, or I'm going to send in a guy to stall for points, or it's gonna be strategy that's gonna have to be taken right then and there. I like that. Look, that's something to be excited about. One of the things that, as we're looking right now, we're looking at a great match from both Gina Thornton and Nikki Palin from last year. We're really glad to hear that you guys are giving away equal money for both men and women. Do you think that's something that's long overdue to give equal cash prizes to both the ladies that are hard working out there?
Absolutely. I mean, I believe the ladies should be paid equally as the men. I mean, that's always been something that's been discussed, throughout various tournaments. And some tournaments in the past have had different circumstances. I believe they should be as equal as the men. And I think that's just how I believe it should be. The one thing, we just got to make sure that we kind of tag on and be more proficient at is trying to make sure that we capitalize on maximizing our judges' potential and making sure that they all know the rules correctly and following it accurately, and and managing and making sure that we've got proper protocol measurements around it. I know last year we had a lot of issues with concussion protocols, so we want to make sure that we have our on-site medics on standby, making sure that people are safe and there's no problems, in the upcoming future.
That's that competitor health is definitely a primary concern, and it's very good to hear promoters that are concerned about that and also taking action before the event. That's very, very good to hear. Could you tell us a bit about, Jamie and I experienced this last year, the nice location that you have. It's very easy to sell people on Florida, especially if it's anywhere near cold, but it's going to be coming up in May. It's going to be beautiful. Tell us about some of the attractions that are there. Maybe they want to stay a couple days, or what some of the things they could do, just off the top of your head. I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but Florida.
Oh, yes, sir, definitely. Thank you for asking. Well, one thing about Tampa is that it's got a lot of different attractions and sceneries around town. You got, of course, the Busch Gardens, you've got the Hard Rock Casino, you've got the Florida Aquarium, you've got all sorts of other, things and attractions around town that you can go check out while you're there. Tampa International Airport is a very wide-known airport, so it is easier to fly in comparison to where we were before, which was in Daytona. It was a little bit tougher, but there's also a lot of good transportation around town. You can take a shuttle. I'm sorry, not a shuttle, a track, and then you can take the trottle over around to Ybor City, and also too, it's only 15 minutes away from the airport, so that's another good thing too. As far as other things you could do around in Tampa, you've also got the beach next to it on the West Coast side. In comparison to when we had the Gator in Daytona Beach, you were on the East Coast side. So you've got plenty of areas to go check out. The Marriott Waterside Resort is the premier hotel venue, in which case, if you guys have not gotten your hotel reservations, get them as soon as possible. They will be going quickly, and I also cannot stress enough and say that the actual hotel rates that we are getting for the Gator rate is actually a lot less expensive compared to other hotel places around town. So definitely check up on that. Also, I've got my father on the line, Mr. Charlie Lane, as well. He can talk more about other things with the Gator too.
Well, hey Mallory, Jamie. One of the other things for the adults there, we also have the casino that's close by. It's like 5 miles away. So not only do you have some great food around the Tampa area, you've also got casino for the adults who want to go and enjoy that. But you've also got the attractions that Alex talked about. They're there as well. We also got some of the things, and I think you had something up shortly a few seconds ago. We introduced the division last year that we're continuing this year and taking a step further. 10th Degree Weaponry is actually sponsoring it. They're going to give out some prizes as well for each winning team, and that's that team weapons that you guys demoed last year. And that's a concept that's, to my knowledge, no one's done. But what we're doing with it, you have 4 competitors that can use any weapon, but they each have to do a routine. One has to do extreme, one does traditional, one does creative, one does musical. They have to be 45 seconds long, and you have to start within 10 seconds after the other one's finishing. And there is also a penalty if you do not finish that at time of that 45 seconds to help create a challenge, because I know that each one have great routines, but making them slow them down or making them come within that time frame makes it a little bit more challenging. Then when we take them to the stage, we draw for the order, and we also draw for the sequence that they do, and then they alternate. So you may have extreme come up first for one team, then extreme for the second team, and then traditional, but the guys may not be doing something different than what they did during the day. So it really creates a challenge to know all of the type of techniques that you have to do in the forms and be able to get up there and do it in a very rapid, quick-paced time. This year we're also doing a new division, white belts only. We've always had the beginners, but we're also doing the white belts only this year, and the purpose for that is for the new beginners coming out there to give them a chance to compete in a division that's separated just for them. The other thing we've had a history of doing for the last few years is that in the underbelt, we separate the girls and the boys in all of the divisions. So the young ladies compete against other young ladies, not against the boys, and the boys compete against theirs as well. So we do that as well. Alex talked a little bit a second ago about the Marriott. One of the other things that we have done with the Marriott is we do have a discount for anybody who comes in for breakfast. They don't use the omelet bar, they just want a regular buffet and stuff like that. They get about a 30-40% discount on their breakfast as well.
Right on, guys. I've always said that, the Gators is one of my favorite tournaments to go to from all the amazing memories I've had at your tournament, excluding maybe the giant bruise that Ross Levine gave me on his armpit while fighting him on stage. But one thing I've always noticed is that the Lanes really know how to throw a fun after party, barbecues on the beach or something outdoors that I've always loved. We're going to have something similar again this year?
Well, last year, and we're trying to get it arranged as well, we actually had food trucks sitting right next to a lounge area that was outside, so you could enjoy a view of the inlet there. It goes right next to the inlet as well, and you had a chance to sit and relax and to get different types of food as well.
The other thing you got to worry about this year, which we're not sure of yet, is the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're looking to be in the playoffs, so hopefully we may get some potential competition right across from the convention center is the Amalie Arena. So there could be a possible Tampa Bay Lightning game going on the weekend of the Gator.
Well, Alex, that's one thing to consider, but I got two words that might actually put a rain on that parade, and those words are Washington Capitals. So, listen, we finally got a team in first place, and I want to live with it for a while. Okay, the Nationals have blanked the bed. The Wizards, we don't even know where they are, and don't even get me started on my poor Washington Redskins. I'm rocking the red and going on and it'd be great if they're down there. I'll go to my first hockey game in Tampa. I guarantee you that. Well, guys, we thank you for being on the show with us. If you have not, as a competitor, pulled up and introduced yourself to Mr. Charlie Lane or Mr. Alex Lane, please do. They're one of the two nicest, most genuine guys out on the circuit. They will remember your name. They will greet you at every tournament. Please come to the Gator Nationals. You're going to be treated fairly. It's going to be a great time. We're all going to have fun out there in Tampa, Florida. I can't wait. Thanks, guys, for coming on the show with us, and enjoy your probably warm evening in Florida as we're dealing with cold weather up here in Washington.
You too, sir. Thank you again for having us.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Lanes. We will see you pretty soon. Well, Jamie, another great trip to Florida. I'm looking forward to it. That barbecue on the beach last year was amazing. The only thing that was slightly off is, if I remember right, we had to get up really early for a flight.
I think we're getting kind of used to that, where you get maybe 3-4 hours of sleep on a Saturday night before we fly home.
Yeah, but I'd like to stay out a little later and enjoy the beach. That would be nice. And while we're talking about upcoming events, I believe you have a quick rundown on what we have upcoming for SMA.
Right. So I don't know if you haven't seen our live streams. SMA TV has been broadcasting, the night shows live. The links are on our Facebook page. But it's an incredible stream where you can catch the entire nighttime show, and we're going to be doing them the next 2 weekends. So we're going to be at Ocean State Grand Nationals this next weekend, April 8th and 9th. And then the following weekend, April 15th and 16th for the Grand Slam Open. Now, not only that, we're going to be at the Quebec Open a couple weeks later, April 29th and 30th, also doing a SMA live stream, SMA TV live stream as well. Not only that, we're going to be at the New England Open once again, June 3rd. Stay tuned for a cool, brand new sparring division. I'm sure Mr. Greenhall's got something up his sleeves for that.
Oh, he's working on something.
We just mentioned the Gator Nationals will be there May 6th for that. Looking forward to that. Getting nice and warm. Both of us are from cold weather environments, so I'll never turn down the trip to Florida, that's for sure, and especially when you get to get some karate in. And also the U.S. Open, the special pricing ends April 17th. So you've got about 12 days to get that registration in for the U.S. Open, which is July 8th and 9th.
Well, that brings another wonderful SMA Live show to close, we would like to remind you to look at our, definitely check out our media partners. We've got Point Fighter Radio, and this Sunday, April 10th, they got some guy who's a coach named Michael Williams, Alex Dingman, who's their co-host, and looks like they will also have Jack Felton, David Bassinet, and promoter of the GSO, Jeff Doss. So give them a listen. You can find their information on our Facebook page. That information is up on your screen right now. And don't forget to check out the Martial Arts Internet Network, run by a fine individual named Travis Plowden. He's doing great things, got some great interviews on there. Make sure you check those guys out. Well, Jamie, I know you got to get back on track. That's not a joke about your bowel problems from Mexico, but we got to get you back on track and to that nice, cold Minnesota weather. Thanks again for another great show of SMA Live. We should be back next week. We don't have the show scheduled just yet, but please stay tuned to our Facebook page, and we will let you know what is happening. For my partner...
Thank you, Thunder Buddy.
Thank you, sir. Jamie Cravens, I'm Mallory Woods. We will see you guys.